So, you've got this amazing, possibly groundbreaking research idea. But here's the big question. How do you get a university or a funding body to believe in it just as much as you do? Well, the answer is the research proposal. Today, we're going to break down how to build your ultimate blueprint for getting that green light, and we're drawing from the incredible work of Mohammed AbdEllah in his book, Academic Writing, Simple Concepts and Easy Skills.
First things first, what exactly is a research proposal? Let me tell you, it's way more than just an outline. Think of it as a persuasive pitch. It's a strategic document designed to prove that your idea isn't just some flash of genius, but a really viable, well-thought-out project. And, just as importantly, that you are the person with the skills to get it done. Its number one job is to build total and complete confidence in your reviewers.
And that's exactly why we're calling it your blueprint for approval. Seriously, this isn't just a piece of paperwork you have to get through. It's probably the most critical tool you have in your entire research journey. Nailing this document is what gets your whole project off the ground.
A really great proposal doesn't just sit in a folder somewhere, it actively works for you. I mean, look at this. It can unlock the funding you need, it can win you a scholarship, and it can secure that all-important ethical approval. It can even help you bring on collaborators, which, is absolutely essential for those big, complex projects.
But if you look underneath all of those amazing benefits, they all boil down to one core function. Your proposal is your evidence. It's how you prove to a panel of experts that you not only have a deep, profound understanding of your subject, but also that you have mastered the research tools you'll need to see the project through to a successful finish. All right, so let's start building this blueprint. We'll begin at the very beginning, the first impression your reviewers are ever going to have. We're talking about staking your research claim, and that starts with a really powerful title and a killer introduction.
Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got a study of business. I mean, what does that even mean, right? It's so vague, it's totally uninspiring. But now look at the right, the influence of technology innovation on developing new business models. Boom. Instantly, we know the topic, the variables, the whole focus. Your title has to be this clear and informative. It's your project's headline.
Okay, so you hooked them with a strong title. Next step is your introduction, which really sets the stage. This is where you lay out the scope of your project and, this is crucial, argue for why it matters. Why is this research so significant? What are your goals? And, the absolute heart of it all, what are the specific, focused, and, let's be real, feasible research questions you're planning to answer?
Now, those questions usually fall into one of three buckets, and choosing the right one is a really strategic move. A descriptive question is great for the early stages, to just paint a picture of what is. Once you've mapped out that landscape, you can use an explanatory question to dig deeper into the why. But then you have the framing question, which honestly operates on a whole different level.
A framing question. This is your chance to be truly innovative. It doesn't just ask what or why, it actually suggests a whole new lens for looking at the problem. Something like, how can we redefine success in this field? This kind of question positions your research not just as another small contribution, but as a potential game changer.
Okay, so once you've staked your claim, it's time to map out the existing territory. This brings us to the literature review. And let's be clear, this is not just a summary of books you've read. It's a strategic mapping exercise. So, its main job is to give a clear, critical overview of the current state of your field. You need to summarize, analyze, and even critique what other researchers have already found. You're basically showing the panel, hey, I've done my homework, I understand the conversation that's already happening here.
And by mapping out what is known, you do something absolutely vital. You reveal what isn't known. This is the gap in the literature. It could be unanswered questions, conflicting results, or just plain old outdated data. Identifying this gap is how you justify why your project needs to exist. You're saying, look, here's the missing piece of the puzzle, and my research is going to provide it.
So you've established the what and the why. Now we get to the part of the blueprint that details the actual construction plan, your methodology. This section is all about explaining the how.
This is it. This is the central question your methodology section has to answer, and you need to answer it with crystal clear precision. Your reviewers are looking for a logical, rigorous, and really well thought out plan of action.
You can break it all down into three key parts. First, your overall research design. That's the big picture framework. Second, your specific data gathering methods. How are you actually going to collect the raw information? And third, your data analysis methods, the process you'll use to take all that information and actually make sense of it.
And when we're talking about gathering data, we're talking about real concrete techniques. Are you going to use surveys to get quantitative data, or will you conduct in-depth interviews for those rich, qualitative insights? Maybe you'll use systematic observations or even run controlled experiments. The key here is to name your tools and then justify why they're the absolute best choice for answering your research questions.
Okay, we're getting to the home stretch. Now we move to the final, really practical parts of the proposal. These sections show your foresight and your professionalism. They prove you're not just a thinker, but you're also a planner and a project manager. Think for a second about what these sections really prove. A detailed timeline and a carefully planned budget? They aren't just lists, they're hard evidence of your project management skills. And when you address ethical considerations, like consent and confidentiality, you're showing your professional responsibility as a researcher. These details build an incredible amount of trust with any review panel. So, you see, when all these pieces come together perfectly, your research proposal completely transforms. It stops being just a document and it becomes a testament to your vision. It's living proof of your competence as a scholar and your concrete ability to turn a brilliant idea into a successful, real-world project.
This document, it's your blueprint. It has the plan, it lists the materials, and it holds the vision for everything that comes next. So really, the only question left to ask is this. Now that your blueprint is complete, what are you going to build?